Hello everybody, I'm Zaid F, or Mandragora, and this is my bookshelf. Now, it's been quite a while since the last bookshelf, and there are some pretty big reasons why I've taken a break for so long, but absolutely none of them are all that interesting. You've all clicked the video because of the title, not me, let's be honest, so let's get to it. This is Reaper Bones Graveyard Expansion, released in the third Reaper Bones Kickstarter. Now, I am going to go through this one take because this is an unboxing video, and if I'm not actually unboxing it, then, you know, it's sort of like, what are you doing? So, the Reaper Bones 3 Kickstarter came to an end quite a while ago, first bag, and all of us were left waiting and wondering when we would get our stuff. Second bag. Okay. Actually, second and third. Interesting. Good to know. It's quite a lot of pieces jingling about. I'm hoping nothing's broken. So far, so good. Fingers crossed. Okay, so box is now empty. Your graveyard expansion will include 3 bags. Two bags of gray. These look to be plastic, and I mean proper plastic, not Bonesium, and 1 big bag of white. Okay, now I could click on my computer right now and give you the end date and an idea of how long I was waiting for this to arrive, but that's not really that important right now, is it? I think you'd all rather I keep talking, but quickly produce my scissors, cut open this bag top, and show you what you get in Bonesium. Now, Kickstarter 3 ended, and I have, for the first time, not gotten a full set of basic pledges. I just, you know, after pledging for 2 Kickstarters in full the first time, I didn't really feel a need to get many of the models I saw the second time. Third time around, I mean. Okay, interesting. Inside the white Bonesium bag, we have more gray parts. These appear to be an archway or door. Door with steps going up, so some split level going. Anyway, where was I? Yes. Third time is a charm. I didn't feel the need to buy that much. A lot of the figures are very nice, but some of them feel kind of redundant. Speaking of feeling redundant, this looks like a demon I already have. From the second Bones, yeah. The worm or something like that. Interesting. But there we go. So this time, but instead of skipping, which I could have found myself doing, I instead chose to just pledge for individual add-ons, and I have to say, Bones 3 may not have had a set that was as attractive in the base set as their previous Kickstarters were. Of course, nothing will probably compare to the massive size and number of miniatures that came in the first Reaper Bones. But it did offer a pretty massive number of all-new add-on sets, which were just gorgeous. Okay. So, the first bag is open. A lot of stuff on it. Let's go through some individual pieces. We have these 2 pillars, little bones on the bottom, skulls along the top. Not bad for building. 2 of them came in the set, and like I said, that was the only white bag, so there's only these 2. Put them on the edge of a table, I guess, next to an altar. It fits. You'd probably need 4 to have a decent room, but for 2, it's not bad. We have a doorway arch. You can see the skeletons there. Sorry, the skulls on the edge. Other side is completely flat, so I don't know if this is meant to be part of a piece that's glued on elsewhere. I'm not sure what this is. You've got skulls on the bottom, but holy symbols right up there on the top. I guess it's a sort of reliquary. Pronunciation on that one's off. This, oh my, this is nice. A regular headstone. Probably my camera doesn't show it, not focusing or not showing the shadows, but you can see from the little details right here on both sides, it has the type of carvings you see on actual cemetery headstones on the front and back. So this is meant to be a full standalone for a graveyard. Very nice detail. We have a statue of, I guess that looks female to me. Maybe it's just slender, but I think that kind of looks like a feminine shape with a sword and his face. You probably can't see it. It's not doing it. It is also a skeleton. So, kind of creepy. I don't think I'd ever see that in a real cemetery. And this guy looks like he could either be a bat demon or a gargoyle, depending on how you choose to paint him. Detail is a little bad on the face, not a lot. A good wash will probably make those teeth pop out. Otherwise, not too bad. Now, with this set comes a lot more headstones. A lot more headstones. Cross swords with a skull. A mass of skeletons. A mass of skulls as a relief. With your typical rest in peace on the front. Pointed winged skull in relief. There's a few more headstones here. I'll open the other bags later. This is nice. We have a phantasm or apparition miniature with no head or face or skull of any kind in it. This is nice. I've been needing something disembodied. Okay, this is nice. This appears to be a female knight. It's a statue, and it's elegant, it's pretty, it's cracked in spaces, so yes, it's definitely stonework, but it looks appropriate to any graveyard, not necessarily a spooky graveyard with all that, you know what I mean. I don't imagine any graveyard having women in cloaks that are just skulls. So that's like, it's not peaceful, it's not nice, it's very Halloweenish. So you expect that either from a haunted graveyard or a Halloween house. But, you know, a beautiful woman in armor holding a shield, that's, you know, that's medieval. I can definitely appreciate that one. So you have some Halloween looking type stuff, evil vampire lair type stuff, and you also have some more genuine, appreciable one, like this tombstone, which has no details of any kind on it, probably meant to just paint whatever you want on it. Like this one, it's somewhere between a shrine and a cross shape. Not showing detail again. It isn't very pronounced detail, granted, it is Bonesium. It has a pair of wings, and I think that's a skull over the top. Oh well. More miniatures. I just showed you the first ghoul that's just a robe with a pair of spectral hands. Here we have another one. This one's more feminine shape, and she has a lantern and a scythe. No skull, so she's a bit like a Grim Reaper that way. Oh, this is a nice one. Here we have a female figure huddled or leaning over a headstone. Her details are pretty vague, so you could paint her up as a mourner or as a ghost haunting her own grave. That's pretty nice. Okay, these I'm going to lump together because of their similar theming. Here we have child size, or maybe you could say demon or imp or even dwarf or hobbit-sized miniatures. They're all pumpkin heads with sort of cloaks and, yeah, tailed outfits. They have a shovel, a headstone, and a pick. So, yeah, you have basically jack-o'-lantern men, dwarves, whatever. Not bad. Very thematic for some, but not bad. Okay, these are nice. You have a pair of wolves. Now, this wolf is completely ordinary in most ways. Nice detail. It'll fit with a few other Reaper Bones wolves that have been made. This one, however, you can see from the hole right there in its right there in its trachea, it actually has its trachea falling outward. This thing is very scraped, very shabby looking. It looks like it's either been in a fight or it's been decomposing. So, wow. I did not expect something of that level of detail from Bonesium. Those are almost all the miniatures that came with the set. All the miniatures are Bonesium. Only the parts that are, strictly speaking, walls and floor and the ceiling are in gray plastic. And we have a few more. We have a fully removable coffin, nice little sword and emblem. Skulls along the side. You have some runic writing as well. It opens up and it's empty, at least for now. I imagine that inside one of these other bags will be the occupant. Now, okay, here's another miniature. Clip that open very quickly. Toss out the garbage. Okay, this is nice. This is a broken coffin, shattered along the sides. Bottom has no real detail to it. You have the broken stones. Very nice piece. I'm very fond of it. And it contains a White Lord or a Lich. He's got a skeleton face and weapons. And that's all there really is to him. You know, paint him up any way you like for the details. I like it. Very nice. Moving on to another coffin, which, if you count that one that's broken, you technically come to 3. This is nice. We have another empty coffin, but it has shield reliefs along the sides, and this is nice. A very attractive looking effigy along the top. Okay, so what's the whole purpose of the unboxing and cutting open the bags? It's, honestly, at this point, it's a recommendation. When I first saw the expansion that would include this graveyard, I thought this is going to be great. Here we have another, it's not a, this is a coffin, wooden. It's not like the mausoleum. I guess, are they also called coffins? I'm not really sure. If it's the difference is stone or material, called something else. Opens up and you have a skeleton in there. No weapons on him, just a bare skeleton. Nice little detail. When I saw this set, I knew I had to have it because I've been very interested in assembling an undead army for fantasy-style games. If I was interested in joining Warhammer Fantasy back when that was still around before Age of Sigmar, I would have done so with, you know, non-official models, mostly. I'm not really a fan of the GW's prices, and Reaper Bones was just perfect timing as far as I was concerned, because they were offering me something at a much reasonable price. I'm going to continue assembling this because it's complex. So, pardon me for rambling, if I am. Yeah, I started rambling. But yes, the big comparison, of course, is the GW-made Gardens of Moor. I'm probably going to need to glue this. Nice looking set, but I don't think the Gardens of Moor had anything like this volume. Detail, of course, but not volume. Okay. This is an interesting one. This is a graveyard golem. It is pieced together from pieces of masonry. Those are not wings, they are gates. Yeah. You need to glue this. Honestly, it does not. The little nubs for it are fit well enough, but yeah, they're not good. You need to glue them into place. And that already fell away. Let's just bring that up closer. It has a carved angel face along the front, kind of reminiscent of some Doctor Who in some ways. Has a bat on it. It's all masonry and some skulls at the base. This is a really, really nice miniature. Okay, so like I was saying, the Gardens of Moor were the big undead set that everyone probably wanted to get but couldn't afford to get or didn't have the availability to get. It was not offered in large amounts. I think that's a safe statement. And since it's been discontinued, well, someone had to offer something to take up its space. Graveyards aren't particularly difficult to make, but to make a really nice one, you gotta, I see all the elements here. You have the elements for an interior chapel, you have the elements for a proper mausoleum. It's just got it all. Okay. Now this is the archway with stones that I mentioned. This one seems to be slightly more detailed on the inside than this one that's pure bonesium. So chances are you could have this as an archway on an exterior side, something like gardens. It wasn't just meant to be glued to the front of the building. Okay. So now we reach the plastic. I'm probably going to regret cutting these open. I really hope I don't lose anything or accidentally step on them. And I gotta say, this really does surprise me. I'm glad that they were able to make these in such volume that they were able to, offer them in plastic. Normally that would be an issue. One little gate. Two. And I can see why now with these. These cornerstone pieces, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, mass produced, makes it cheaper, 7. This gateway is a complete piece. I'm really glad none of this broke in transit. It was very well packed. Still, there are a lot of pieces. 2 more full gates, I guess. These are identical. One more small gate. Not seen any like that on this particular bit. Okay, careful, careful. 2 more long gates. 1, 2. Excellent. Careful. Yeah, really be careful when pulling these out. All the because those gate spikes are all over the place. If you yank stuff out too quickly, you're liable to smack something apart. Okay, and now we have, this is what was making all these noises, these little bits here. I don't know if they're supposed to be connectors or what. They don't look to be connectors. They're just little bases. They seem to fit the inside of the bottom of these things, but honestly, why not just, plug them in like that? I won't pretend to get it. Okay, so putting them back into the bag, head count again. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 standalones or corner posts or division posts. Not bad. These 2 gate ends are the only ones of their kind. Careful with them when you put them away. They're liable to break if you're not careful. We have 3 of these medium-sized gates. Odd number. Not worth thinking about too much, I guess. 4 of these longer gates. and one main entrance gate. Okie dokie. Is that a decent amount of square footage to be encircled by the wall? Not if you want to have a full living cemetery, I guess, but if you want to show something that's dilapidated or ruined, or if you just want to have the entrance or have it as a limiter for your yard or field, then yeah, I'd say you got a decent amount of length of wall there, especially if you're creative. And well, you know, you can always fake spaces or put some little terrain on the ground indicating locations where the gates were dropped to the floor, so to speak. So yeah, all in all, I'm overly impressed with the quality of those gates, actually. Because it's not Bonesium, there's a risk of them breaking, but instead of bending with transport and storage, I'm not going to be storing them in plastic bag. I'm going to be storing them in probably something kind of like sandwich boxes or something like that. But you know, they're plastic, they're out of the box, ready made, and that means that they are not, you know, they're good. They're good to go. Okay, so now the second gray bag includes all the pieces for the mausoleum proper. I just got to show this off. This is the floor tile. This is really nice. Really nice. Bottom is nothing special. Reaper miniatures made in China. Nice rune circle. Pretty good. Here we have the first exterior wall. On the outside we have a pair of sigils or coat of arms, I guess. In the middle we have the skeleton. Curious detail. On the inside you have three sort of like alcoves that have skeletons in them. So I don't think that these are particularly detailed, but at the same time, if you look at them from the inside with a proper layer of paint or something, you could kind of have them like catacombs. I don't know that I would do it that way. I mean, you have this bit here that juts outward. It's obviously supposed to support the weight of the ceiling or roof. But it's a curious detail. Interesting choice. Here we have the second one. Detail same as the first. They're identical. So the two side walls are carbon copies of themselves. A nice little corner to cut to make sure that price was reasonable. My original guess that archway was the entrance to the mausoleum, or that the other one was, is proven incorrect, because here we have the front entrance in all of its detail. Very nice. I don't see anything that would really go in. There's a bit of an outcropping here. I don't know what would go there. I'll check to see if there's a piece. I don't see a sliding door anywhere. The interior is nicely grooved as well. Has little skulls there, so interesting detail. And then we have the rear wall. This looks really reinforced, like more of a fortress than a mausoleum or church. Interesting choice. The interior has the same skeleton catacomb bit that were on the side walls. Obviously the front wall, because it has a door space, wouldn't have that. Interesting detail. And here we reach the roof. I'm going to admit surprise on this. This looks like metal roofing, in a sense, more than it would something I would see from a traditional church. So it's an interesting choice. Here's a nice bit. You have these spikes measured properly so they go on the roof, obviously. Not going to push them in because I'm going to put this away again until I'm ready to work on it. Okay, yeah, now that's one question answered. Actually, it's several questions answered. And one more question raised. Here we have a little bit. I don't know where this goes. I suspect it may have something to do with... Here we go. Okay. So we have the front door gate. It has an interesting little alcove in the inside that this is just the right size and shape for. So it appears, yes, this is a hinge for the door right here. So that's meant to be, this is not a decoration, it's meant to be an actual fully functional swing open and close type of door. Opens inwards. Appreciate the detail. I don't know that I'll get much utility out of doing that, but it is a nice detail, and always nice to have the option for things like that. If you think that you don't want to be swinging it open or that it makes it delicate, just glue it shut. And this is the second interesting choice. This kind of looks like a missile. I'm not sure what the shape is reminiscent of, but this is the piece that goes over here. So yeah, this church mausoleum has quite the spire right there. Need to glue it properly into place because it's not very sturdy. But yeah, all in all, the mausoleum is completely plastic. There's some repetition on the side walls. Probably helps reduce cost, made this possible. So, you know, always a good thing in some ways. Now, what do they say about this? I do believe this cost $30 in the Kickstarter, and I have no regrets. This is a very nice set. Fisher Gardens of Moor, which I've mentioned once or twice now, is the main competition for it. I don't know that it has as many pieces. I'm positive it didn't include anywhere near the number of figures it has, or interesting types of figures as this had. All in all, wow. Yeah. So, all in all, what have I got? I've got a full 4-wall modular mausoleum. I have several fences of a decent height. I have a stonework golem. I have a wooden casket. I have 3 or 4. No, 3 heads. Sorry, 3 stone coffins. 1 interesting piece of statue work. At least 8 different miniatures that represent ghouls or ghosts, the wolves and those things. Plenty of statues, the pillars. Full recommendation. This is a very nice set. I'm going to have to take my time taking care of the details. Yeah, this archway is really throwing me for a loop. I have no idea where this is supposed to go now that I look at it all again. But yeah, recommendations. Now that it's been released, it will be eventually sold on the website at full price. What do I feel about full price for this? I don't know. This is a Kickstarter box, arguably. It'll be a while before it's made available to the public. Will it be worth whatever it gets increased to? I'm likely to say yes. I'm glad I got this set. I got a reasonable discount on it, and hopefully this video helps you decide whether you're interested in picking up in the future. Anyway, that's more than enough for me on the subject. I'm Zaidef. Happy wargaming.